Alrighty, so here are some parts ready to put together. It'll start to look like a real camel soon. You can see the cowling has been finished. I sprayed it red. Doesn't match exactly with the tails and stuff, but that's okay because I figure, heck, it might be different anyway. It's metal as opposed to fabric. So I added the little engine, and then, there it is. I think it turned out really nice considering what it looked like when it started. Those cowlings tend to be okay. Take your time. I used a Sharpie to fill in some of the balsa on the edge where the cowling is going to go because it just glues right to that edge. But just to make sure, if it isn't exactly perfect, you don't want balsa showing through, so a little bit of color is good. Just put a little bit of tacky glue around the edge. Remember, this thing fits like it just snaps into place essentially, just like any other model. It's unbelievable. So I put a little glue on either side. Just not too much, but enough. A little squeeze out is okay because you can take it off with your finger with ease. Put my engine in. I'm not too worried about where that's gonna go, or what the orientation is gonna be. Got my engine in. There's the side. Smashed it in place. Make sure it's straight before the glue dries, and it looks really good in there. Actually, I do like it. There, I took a little extra glue off. I do like how it looks. It would be nice, like I said, if it spun, but I'm not too terribly upset about it. When I play with it around the house, I'll probably just hold it and fly it around and won't worry about the engine. Anyway, that front end is done, and that's a nice kind of milestone area. Now, let's start putting the tails on. So the stabilizer fits underneath that little piece of wood or paper, and notice there's a gap back there. That little gap is where the rear little wooden piece on the fin fits. So that's about how it's supposed to go. So I test fit it, seemed to be fine. So the next step is to actually add glue. I was going to use super glue, but I decided in this case just to go ahead and use my tacky glue because the fit was so good, and it would give me a little extra time to sort of panic move it if it didn't fit quite right. With the super glue, boy, you get it on there, it's got to be right the first time. So I slid that in, pushed it down, made sure there's a nice line on there so you can help make sure it's all perpendicular and where it's supposed to be and straight. That also gives you a good point to put the fin on. Spend a little time making sure everything is tight and strong. Look at it from the side, look at the top and bottom. Scraped off a little bit of glue that was underneath. Make sure I've got things relatively straight. Again, people can do this very carefully with measurements and things, but I use the Mark 1 eyeball. I tend to. I test fit my fin, which is going to go right there. It's got to be vertical on the back where the hinge line is, and it is. Now in this case, I did use super glue on this because there's no holes for it to go into, and I wanted to make sure that it was strong. And so as long as I knew where it went, which there's only one way to put it in, kind of put it in that back piece first, and then just push it straight down. As long as I'm over the line, I'm the center of the fuselage, the turtle deck back there, I should be good. And sure enough, that's how it turned out. Again, a testament to the accuracy of the kit. I spent a little time here making sure that it's perpendicular to the stabilizer and that everything looks good from the front and from the back, so that it's a nice straight, and again right angles perpendicular sort of thing, because any little mismatches are going to be really obvious later once you put the wings on and all the rest. So this is something you have to do with every model: plastic, vac form, paper model, clay, whatever it happens to be. You got to make sure everything is straight. I then added a little bit of zip kicker once I got it perfectly straight to make sure it was on there. That just gives a little insurance, and it makes it nice and solid so you can go ahead and do the rest of it. Now I checked my cockpit interior and my rudder bar, and I have it so that I got a little canted rudder. So I put a little glue on my rudder hinge line, and I just pop it on there in the center, and I got a little right rudder I'm going to stick in. And it's really pretty easy. Just slide it in straight, push it a little bit, and then make sure that you've got the right angle that you want. Straight back is fine too, but in my case, I have a little right rudder, and that's on purpose. Um, so it makes it look a little more at ease on the ground. Had a little piece of white paper there that I touched up on the edge of that stabilizer just to make it look a little better. Um, then I test fit the elevators. Turns out, I don't know why, but on both of them I had to cut out a little bit in the interior part where it goes up against the rudder. I'm not sure if I did something wrong or not, but it's not a big deal. It looks fine. Put some glue on the hinge line again, and same old story. Match it up, slide it on the line, and in this case I want to droop them slightly. Most of the pictures I see, the elevators are hanging down, not to the ground, but they're hanging down a little bit. And again, my spade grip in there is also pushed forward towards the cockpit, towards the instrument panel, so that makes sense. But you make sure you hold it in there and make sure it dries. And this tacky glue again dries very quickly. Much more. It's surprising how fast it dries, and yet you could still bend things around and kind of position it. It's a godsend when you put this other one on because you want to make sure they're drooped to the same amount. So same issue here. Needed to cut off a little bit, and again, I don't know if that's me or not. I never test fit them because I assumed it would be perfect, and so I'm not sure why, unless I have something wrong with the geometry back there. It's possible. Again, when it's all done, it looks fine, so I'm not all that worried about it. It looks like a Sopwith Camel. Just test fitting to make sure it's good. Add some glue and put it in. And same thing as before. The only issue here, it's not an issue, but the only thing you have to do now is make sure it is drooping the same amount. And that again is easy. You basically, I put it on, doesn't have to be perfectly straight on the hinge line. I just make sure it's up against the hinge line. And then I can come back and droop it however I want. And you just have to look at it carefully, make sure it's the same, look at it from the back, from the front, make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do. And after a few minutes it dries, it's solid, and you've got nice elevators. Look great. And the rudder and fin look great. And there it is. So, the whole back is done. It's so much fun to put stuff like, wings or cowlings or the tails especially on, because it really makes it look it's a finished package. I mean, there's the whole fuselage. You really get an idea of the compactness of the design, how the pilot and the gas tank and the engine and the guns and the ammo, everything was right up there up front. Real short nose, but no wonder this thing was wicked but wonderful to fly. Anyway, tails are good, and now it's time to rig them. So I went through and I rigged everything, but then I left a couple off to show you. So I measure off, this one's kind of hard to take pictures of, by the way. I measured off there from that hole, which is going to be the bottom elevator horn. And that's the distance to the horn. And then notice when I take my knife, I cut a little further. And that's because I want to add it to the horn and then put it directly back onto the stabilizer. So I put a little bit of glue on the end of that elastic thread, and it dries pretty fast, but you got to sort of make sure it's drying kind of with the right drape. Otherwise it hardens and you've got funny kinks in it. So I try to make sure it's kind of pulling in the direction I want it to go, which is back towards the control horn. And then I put a little dab of my zip kicker on there or nearby it. And then that's where it's going to go, right there against the horn. So I put a little glue. I put glue on like sort of the inside. I suppose you could drill holes and stuff, but I just put it inside. I grab with the tweezers and I pull it up against where the horn is and just hold it there for a few seconds. You could also use a little zip kicker as well if I had a third hand. Once it started to get on there to stick, then I use the zip kicker. Now my piece is a little long, so I took a little pair of my little nail scissors and chop off a little tiny bit so that now it fits right where it's supposed to. And where it's going is not by eye, it's actually in the kit. There's nice little spots where you're supposed to put things. So it's going to end up going right there. So now I try to push the little elastic wire over and then hit it with a little bit of the zip kicker. Then I add a little dab of glue, super glue, where it's supposed to go. And I very carefully grab that piece and put it down. You can see it stuck before I wanted it to. I thought I was in trouble, but it worked out. So that's that piece done. Only piece left now to do are the two support wires underneath to go the fuselage to the stabilizer. So there's one, so I measure it off just like usual and take it over and cut it. I glued the tip and put it on, in this case, at the fuselage. I figured that'd be a good place to start. Put a little dab of zip kicker to anchor it. Now you, again, I want to take the zip kicker and add it to the tip of that piece. It's going to go right there. So I hooked it up over the fuselage so it's far away, because if that zip kicker gets anywhere close to what you want to glue to, it's going to go solid and you're really going to mess things up. So put a little bit of glue there, and then you grab your zip kicked piece of elastic and you pull it over and stretch it, and you just got to make sure you do it carefully but have it go in the right place. You can't shake, because again, if that zip kicker fumes get on there, it's all over. In this case, it was all over. I couldn't get it on there. So what I did was lose my religion a little bit, but then I decided to just do the front piece. And then by that time, the back piece would be dried. I could try again. So I put that back wire on. Same thing. Put a little zip kicker on it. And then I, again, move this wire, make sure it's going to fit, or this piece of elastic. And then I put a little zip kicker on the end, right there. And again, it's away from where it's going to have to ultimately touch. I put my glue on there, but all of a sudden I notice it's already solid. And that's a huge problem. So, what to do in this case? What I did was I used a brand new puddle. I think somehow some zip kicker got onto my little bamboo skewer and it was contaminated my glue, so it basically was solidifying as I watched. I took a new bamboo skewer, which was helpful, put it in a new little puddle of glue. Then I dabbed it, and it this time worked like a charm. So this stuff is not hard to do, but for some reason on this particular set of tails, man, I've had a hard time with it. And it shouldn't be that tough. But get it on there, hold it for a second, and I believe this one actually works quite well. So by now, I was hoping that the other one was dry. So I went ahead and tried it with my new puddle of glue and my new skewer. Put a little zip kicker on the end again, and then gave this a little dab of, again, the new glue. Pop it on there, and then you got to move quick and efficiently. Grabbed that little piece of elastic and then popped it right over and nailed it first time this time. So, that it's sort of the cheating man's way to do rigging. There's no turnbuckles. There's nothing going through actual holes. But the elastic does look pretty convincing, and I like doing it that way. It's quick. It is relatively easy. I'll see if I can make the wings get rigged a little easier, a little better. Maybe when we show that movie, I won't look like such a fool. But there's the back end all rigged. There's something about once an airplane has rigging on it, it looks done. It's like a nice, pretty ship with all the rigging. Love it.